Using portfolios to document the developmental progress of young children can be an effective way to not only collect evidence for assessments, but it's a valuable tool in giving parents a window into the development of their child. There seem to be 4 key questions. What do I include? How much do I keep? How often do I add or evaluate? And how will I store it or organize the portfolios? I actually want to work backward on these items because number 4 can help you answer the others. The first question to ask yourself when determining how the portfolios will be stored is hard copies or digital? If you're a technology geek, the answer may be easy. Perhaps the idea of scanning and uploading items seems great to you. It certainly makes storage easier. But if you're technologically challenged or have a poor internet connection at your place of employment, this might not be your best option. If you opt for hard copies, the next question is, what size? Do you want folders? Do you want binders? Do you want boxes? As you can see, there are a lot of different questions regarding storage. Perhaps most important, they need to be accessible or you probably won't maintain them. I've done it a couple of different ways. I've taken large sheets of poster board and made pouches or folders out of them, put the children's name on them, and stored them standing up. I have also used boxes. I know that some people really like putting things in binders. I just always found the size to be restrictive. I've heard some people say they love using unused pizza boxes, which you may be able to get a local store to donate or purchase at a local restaurant supply store. My suggestion regarding storage is to explore your options. Reflect on the amount of space you have available and how you see yourself utilizing the contents. Finally, I recommend trying something before you spend a ton of money on it. If you're thinking about using boxes, for instance, don't go buy super high-end items for storage. Start with something from the dollar store to see if it works for you or if you want to try something different. Moving on to our second and third questions, because they are very intertwined, determining how often to add items and how much to keep is closely tied to the storage system you plan to use. If you're going to use large folders, you can include a lot more than you would if you're using a regular file folder. Size can be a constraint, and you may have to reconcile yourself to folding some pieces of art that are larger. You want the portfolio to document milestones and progress. When you're including writing samples, you don't want 50 pieces of paper with the child writing exactly the same way. You want to collect pieces over time that show skill development. If you are writing samples, you may even want to collect them at specific intervals, maybe every 2 to 3 months. Finally, what are you going to include in your portfolios? Here are a few of my recommendations. Photos of the child interacting or participating in activities with their friends, and photos of things that can't be included in the portfolio, such as amazing block structures the child has created, or a 3-dimensional art project. Writing samples are important. Having a writing station in your classroom with small pieces of paper should provide plenty of samples. Different mediums of 2-dimensional art should be included. Crayon, tempera, watercolor, pencils, collage. All of these can be included, but not every piece of art a child creates needs to go into the portfolio. When you record, with paper and pencil, a conversation that a child has had with a peer or a group of peers, you may decide to type it up and include it in each of their portfolios. With older children, a portfolio may include a list of books they can successfully read. Depending on the nature of your portfolios, you may also wish to include checklists that you have completed while observing the child. To close, I'd like to say that you might really want to consider a checklist or a table of contents of things you want to include in each child's portfolio so you can mark it off, knowing you have worked to assemble a strong body of evidence. Imagine sitting down with a parent for a conference, opening their child's portfolio and finding it has 2 little slips of paper in it, or worse yet, nothing. It will be a struggle to thin things down to a manageable amount for some children, but not all children flock to the art area. In fact, some children with sensory issues may avoid it like the plague. You'll have to figure out how to get them to produce some sort of work samples, not just for the portfolio, But if you work for a state-funded program, you're expected to provide evidence for all children's learning, not just the ones who produce works of art on a daily basis. There are even templates that can help you get started. We could talk about portfolios for days. Entire workshops and conferences are designed to explore the details, and there are tons of books and websites to help you along the way. Hopefully, this has given you a little insight into some of the options available.